What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Dickie Does Audio here. Hey, this is a video that I wanted to get out to you guys for a while now. It's a video of me renovating or remodeling, whatever you want to call it, my front sound stage. And I basically took it from black fabric that I stapled to the edges of my screen and just let that kind of hang there. And I built some wood frames to put on the edges and beneath it, and it actually turned out pretty nice. So you know, if you're interested, then stick around and check this video out, because I think the end result was it's pretty significant compared to what this is. This right here is the stuff that I had on the screen at first. It's just some really thin plywood that I cut up, and I stapled the fabric to the edge of that. And what I'm doing here is I'm pulling some staples out of the screen material to try and get my fabric to get it tighter to the actual wood frame. Here I got the laser level out to make sure that my screen was perfectly level, and it is. Over there to the right, that's just the actual material that's not stapled as tight as I would like to the actual wood frame. So it's actually, like I said, it's perfectly level. And then here I am. This is just getting some wood cut to get ready to start framing the left and right side of the screen. And honestly, I thought this was going to be a pretty simple project, and it turned out to be pretty daunting. You know, it took me a lot longer than I anticipated. I thought maybe this would be a 2-day project or whatever, and it took me almost 2 weeks or better. The left and right side panels were the most difficult part, because I angled them back. I think it's like a 35-degree angle from the screen to the wall where the wood is screwed to the side walls. At the end of this video, I kind of did a demo, if you will, of how the edges, the side pieces work. Because basically what I did is I put it on a wheel, and they're on hinges, so that I can still open my the left and right side of the screen up, and so that I can still get behind my screen. If I, you know, well, anyway, right here is this is the frame for the bottom of it that goes underneath of the screen. And this was just made out of 2x4s, and the side pieces, the edge pieces, I tried to make that out of 2x4s also, but they were just a little bit too thick and too heavy. I didn't have a whole lot of room to work with on the edges. This was the beginning of me getting the front piece, the decorative piece, cut up and put together. And like I said, I think it turned out pretty nice compared to what I had down there before. I used some 1x6 primed MDF, and that seemed to work really well. I wish I would have went ahead and went with the finger joint pine, because whenever I used the Craig jig to screw the pieces, the slats or whatever the vertical, the stiles, I guess is what they're called. Whenever I screwed them into the bottom piece, one of them stripped out a little bit on me, and it was MDF, so there wasn't really much I could do. But so here I am right now. I got all the framing done, which was basically the hard part, and now it's kind of hard to see, I guess, but right there, I'm just trying to sure up the bottom of that to make sure that I have enough room in between the bottom of the left frame piece and for whenever I put the wheel on there. And then I'm going over to do the same thing on the right side. But I put a wheel right there next to the middle frame piece and the inside of the left at the bottom. So like I said, at the end of this video, I'll show you kind of how this works. Being on hinges, it just kind of swings open and then you pull the middle piece, the middle frame piece out, and then the screen still raises up so that I can get behind there. I had to do something like this because I couldn't just build a false wall like a lot of people can, because I have a door right there that leads into my my crawl space under my house. That's actually one of the biggest downfalls of my basement and me trying to build a theater room down there. Man, excuse me. And this right here, just, I got everything fitted together and it actually looks pretty good, you know, just from the framework looked really good to me. You know, I was pretty pleased with that. And so this right here, I'm just going to lay my frame down on the fabric and just staple it up nice and tight. Got that done. And it, like I said, I was really surprised at how well this turned out for just a kind of spur of the moment type thing. And there's that bottom piece in there. This piece right here is the top piece. I was just checking it out to kind of get an idea because I had to strip these 1x6s down. I used the actual 1x6 on the very bottom, and then I took a 1x6 and I cut 1.5 inches off of it, and that made it 4.5 inches for the top piece. So basically the bottom, going around the very bottom of the I can't think of what it's called, but the very bottom of the stiles and the wainscot, I guess, if you will, is 6 inches, and the top pieces are 4.5 inches. And I did different sizes from the top and bottom, but they're all symmetrical, but I tried to do something a little bit different. And it, like I said, I don't think it turned out too bad. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with one part, and I'll show you that in a minute. But here was what I was using, or whenever I was using the Craig jig. That was the first time that I used a Craig jig, and I will forever use that thing now. After seeing how easy that does, you know, you can drill your little pocket holes and everything just comes together good. You just glue it and you put your screw in there, and it's in there, you know, and it's nice and tight. And yeah, I will use a Craig jig on almost every project that I possibly can now. Those are the actual wainscot pieces that I built for the top and the bottom of the left and right. The left and right pieces. This right here was the very bottom wainscot piece that goes across the bottom frame, and you can see that I tried to paint and spackle that, and whenever I did it, I painted it while I was standing up and the paint ran, so I had a fun time sanding all that down and getting that off there. But here it is, the bottom piece. Didn't turn out too bad. You know, everything is pretty symmetrical, and like I said, I thought it turned out pretty well. We got sound again. I don't know what this is. I know I looked. Oh, this is the paint that I did for the wainscot for the left and right side of the screen. And the paint that I used, it was the same kind of paint that I used in the M&K S100B video that I did. It's the Krylon matte finish, I think. Some nice paint. Just for spray can, that's some really nice stuff. For only I think it's less than $5 a can, and it does a really good job. Here's the wainscot piece that's going on the front of the right side of the screen. Basically what I did is I tried to make the that piece that I'm putting on now, I tried to make that the same width and height as the pieces for the middle of the bottom, and they're pretty close. I couldn't do it perfectly. I guess I'm just not that good, I guess, but this is a little out of place. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, so but anyway, and then on the top is the same distance as these are the exact same size as the wainscot that's on the bottom frame that goes underneath of the screen. And I thought this would give it kind of like a nice detail and make it a little bit decorative. But in between the top and the bottom, I didn't put anything in between there because that's where my speakers go. And it seems like that something's needed there. It looks like it's missing something. And so eventually down the road, if I figure something out, then I'll put something in there. And you can see it right there. You can see the top piece and the bottom piece. It seems like something needs to go in between there. And this right here is basically same thing. Checking the distance between the ceiling and the top piece to make sure that they're both even. That the left and the right side is both even. I can't get over the fact that whenever I did this, I didn't think about in between the top and the bottom piece. I thought it would look great, and whenever I stood back, me and my wife both kind of looked at it, and it's like it's just missing something. But you know, it'll do for now. It looks a lot better than it did. And then there's the top piece that I put on the bottom frame, and here's how this works. I just put some wood on the wall and attached some hinges to that, and then basically just built the frame for the right and the left side. I built them identical, and once I put the hinges on there, then they swing open, and that way that once these swing open, I can lift my screen up and still get behind it, like I said. And then you'll see right here, it's just the bottom and the top of the screen is kind of what holds it in place, other than the frame that I built for the bottom of it. You'll see that here just in a second. That just kind of rolls shut, push the screen back a tiny bit, and that just kind of locks it in place. The border of the screen, the top and the bottom part of the border of the screen just kind of locks that in place on both sides. And here is basically the finished project for now. I have to figure out exactly what I want to do on the left and the right sides up against the wall. But you know what, for now, I'm very happy with what I've done so far with this. So if you're into stuff like this, you know, DIY stuff, home theater, audio, video, things like that, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you like this video, hit the like button, and drop me a comment. But until next time, thanks.